Good morning, class. I'm Aditya Patel.
I'm Andrew Lemus.
And the title of our project is Break the Chains, What Can You Do to Help? This is mostly concentrated towards human trafficking. We got this idea from the movie Taken, where Liam Neeson goes to save his daughter in Paris as she's a victim of human trafficking. And now Nadeem is going to tell you about a surviving victim.
Basically, Shelly is a runaway at age 12, and she was apprehended by someone, and then she suffered physical and psychological abuse. So our organization provided her with safety and resources. A lot of people, after their suffer human trafficking, that go through physical and psychological abuse, which is feeling shame, grief, and all that. I'll pass it on to Andrew.
Okay. So we're going to take a look at this map here, and as you can see, it says 234,000 are in labor trafficking. So that's just a small factor of what we're going to get to in the second slide, but I'd like to take a point and say that $600 million of this is in Texas alone, and that's a ginormous number. And if we can go to the next slide. And we have 6 cumulative factors to this. The first factor being that often people of trafficking, they're looking for better opportunities, perhaps they're trying to escape violence. Whatever that reason might be, people are desperate. They're going to spend lots of money, perhaps their entire family fortune, to say, hey, we need to get out of this place. This is detrimental. This is dangerous to us. And that brings in the second part, where you have a trafficker who will say, well, I can help you out. I got connections. I can get you anywhere in the world you want to go. You want to go to the West, that's fine. And of course, they use deception as their main tool. And these people who either out of desperation or just pure ignorance are willing to go along with this because they think, oh, this is a nice opportunity. I've got work. I've got a place to bring my family and my kids. And that's where the real problem begins, is that they begin to take these people, to, I guess, the point of entry to these countries, and they say, well, the terms have kind of changed, actually. You're not going to that job. We've got a different plan for you. Or they'll, use forces of coercion. They'll say, well, if you try to run from us, we'll ensure that you don't get too far. And that's unfortunately an incentive for traffickers, because they did an investigation with 2 different traffickers. One of the gentlemen, he said, I brought in only 3 women and I made about $100,000 a year. And they asked the second man, they said, well, what did you do? He said, I brought in 4 women, I made $250,000 a year. And this is insanity, because all of these women were in sexual exploitation. And you can see just how insane the amount of funding that not only do the clients have, but also the traffickers themselves. And the second, I guess, important point would be that there's a very low rate of prosecution. There was about 4,300 cases in total, which means that, for a population of over 16 million worldwide, only 4,300 are being prosecuted within the United States, which is a very, very, very small number. And furthermore, if I read that, it said that traffickers are not only bringing in profit, but they're decreasing costs for clients who would rather use illegal labor or prostitution rather than go through legitimate ways of earning money. And next slide. And so when we're looking at this plan, we think to ourselves, well, what can we do to address this? And we found that 73% of these reportings came from actual tip-offs. These can be people, going anonymously saying, hey, we need to find, I need to get out of the situation, or I think there's something going on, and I would like the authorities to investigate. And furthermore, we can see that 2,400 were actually reported by victims themselves, versus almost double, which is community members. And in the next slide, this is where we get our mission statement from. And that mission is basically, we need to help both the survivors and we need to teach the community how to look out for these factors. The first part being that we need to have group meetings, as you can see here, because We believe the community, which plays an enormous role in preventing and identifying trafficking wherever it is going to be the main source of eradicating it, and therefore we should have monthly meetings within the Dallas area. Furthermore, we need to have established methods that help protect survivors. They need things such as social services, medical services. They need access to lawyers. They need access to law enforcement. All sorts of entities that can help them with this. And the last point I'd like to bring is that creating an environment that understands the impact of human trafficking. We realize that, of course, we can't completely eradicate, but what we'd like to do is get to a point where people don't have that fear of, is my next door neighbor actually a victim, or is somebody I know could be a victim? We would like to make that exponentially smaller in number. And I'll pass it on to Duke.
Yeah, as you all have heard from Andrew, we have a big problem with human trafficking. And there are so many ways we can do to break the chains of human trafficking. First, we need to educate the people in the society. Let them know, what's going on with human trafficking, then how these traffickers use traps in the social media, everywhere to trap these people. The next one, we need to rescue the people. Rescuing doesn't mean we go after the ones who have been enslaved. We need to take away the people from the street, because most of the people, they aim people who are jobless, people who are in the streets. They don't have hope of never getting out of there. So we need to send them to safe house and then send the kids for adoption probably. Another one we're gonna say is find justice for the victims. First of all, we need to prosecute the traffickers, then protect them from being again the victims. Another one, we need to come up with laws which would severely punish the traffickers. This means that we have to enact the laws which are in place so that the traffickers be afraid or back down or back up, that they're gonna be punished for whatever they are doing. Another point is we need to support the people and restore them. We provide basic needs for the people, because if they don't have the basic needs like shelter, food, and clothing, that's when they end up in the streets being homeless. Then they become the prey for the traffickers. So it's very easy to convince homeless people to come and do dirty jobs, difficult or dangerous. Another thing is we need to provide counseling to the victims after they come from wherever they were confined, like victims. They have that trauma of being no fit in the society. We need to console them, it's gonna be okay, provide every need for them. Then another thing is provide financial support. This comes where we try to protect them when they are being used as witnesses in prosecuting the traffickers in courts of law. These people need protection from being killed, maybe from the traffickers, not to provide evidence that they are traffickers. Now I'll pass it to Patel to tell you more about what we've
So
done.
In-N-Out Burger is going to organize with North Texas Coalition Against Human Trafficking and Sleep to Nothing to organize a 5K marathon in downtown Dallas. And there we're going to provide free t-shirts. As you can see, the hashtag is Break the Chain. And you have a picture there to send the message to every runner and raise more awareness about this problem that's in the country. I'm so sorry. The marketing plan, we're going to use local radio stations that'll keep putting out these advertisements. Then social media like Instagram or Facebook, where you can create an event and invite people, where friends of friends can look at this event that is going to be organized. And we're going to put up flyers at local In-N-Out Burger chains, and the employees will inform all the customers about the event that is going to happen. And the budget is, the marathon expense will be $8,000. which includes all the permits, the food and drinks, the security, the volunteer cost, and the marketing cost would be $2,800. That is the average marketing cost for a radio station is $700. Then our target is to increase human trafficking awareness and donate at least $20,000 to the North Texas Coalition Against Human Trafficking. And this is our conclusion, that no one should go through this. Every person has a right to live freely, and they should not be enslaved. And nobody is for sale, and there's no price on a person's head. Thank you.